Tony Ferguson just dropped a bombshell about Khabib Nurmagomedov, and he says Khabib's own father saved him from facing El Chuchuy at UFC 209. Tony Ferguson has reignited his long-running feud with Khabib Nurmagomedov by claiming that the infamous UFC 209 cancellation in 2017 wasn't the result of a dangerous weight cut, but instead a cover-up masterminded by Khabib's father, Abdominap Nurmagomedov. According to Ferguson, just hours before weigh-ins, the two rivals had a secret altercation inside the Fighter Hotel. Ferguson says Khabib and his crew surrounded his family and team in an intimidating manner, something that sparked a direct confrontation between him and the undefeated Russian. Ferguson claims he stood face-to-face with Khabib and told him that only the two of them should settle it. No backup, no help, just fighter against fighter. That intensity, he insists, riled Khabib's camp. Ferguson alleges that after this clash, Abdominap and Khabib's management stepped in, realizing the risk of letting their fighter step into the cage against El Chuchuy at that moment. He believes they made a calculated decision to protect Khabib's future, instructing him to pull out by faking a medical issue. Officially, the UFC reported that Khabib was hospitalized due to complications from his brutal weight cut, but Ferguson maintains this was nothing more than a convenient excuse to hide the real reason. In Ferguson's words, that dude never showed up. He disappeared on a day's notice. His dad saved his ass because he knew he messed up. Ferguson even compared the situation to a John Wick moment, saying Khabib's crew surrounding his family put a fire inside him that hasn't left to this day. He insists that this was the only time Khabib ever avoided a fight, not because of weight, but because his team didn't want him to face the boogeyman head-on. If you're enjoying this breakdown and want daily UFC updates, make sure to hit subscribe to MMA Thread. We've got you covered every single day. While Ferguson's career ended with a tough losing streak, fight fans can't forget the years when El Chuchuy was one of the most feared lightweights in UFC history. After suffering a setback to Michael Johnson in 2012, Ferguson went on an incredible 12-fight win streak that turned him into the division's ultimate dark horse, a run that paralleled Khabib Nurmagomedov's own 12-fight UFC dominance. One of the most defining moments of that run came in 2015 at UFC 184, when Ferguson faced Gleison Tibau. Tibau was a veteran who many still argue handed Khabib his toughest test, and possibly even beat him back in 2012. But when it was Ferguson's turn, the result couldn't have been more different. Ferguson walked through Tibau with relentless pressure, hurrying him on the feet before sinking in a first-round submission that showed just how dangerous and unpredictable he was. That one was only the beginning of a terrifying streak. Ferguson racked up victories against names like Josh Thompson, Edson Barboza, Rafael dos Anjos, Kevin Lee, and Anthony Pettis. What made Ferguson's run so unique was his style, a mix of unorthodox striking, brutal elbows, and slick submissions that left opponents bloodied, battered, and broken. His fights weren't just wins. They were violent spectacles that made Joe Rogan and countless fans label him the UFC's true boogeyman. For years, Ferguson looked unstoppable, and many believed he was a one-man who could truly threaten Khabib's undefeated legacy. His run mirrored the dominance of Nurmagomedov, and the fact that they never crossed paths inside the octagon, despite being scheduled 5 different times, remains one of the biggest what-ifs in MMA history. Even today, fans debate whether Prime Ferguson might have been the toughest challenge Khabib never faced. Thanks for watching today's update. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think Ferguson's story is true? Don't forget to subscribe to MMA Thread for more UFC drama, fight news, and exclusive updates.